Here we are working on our LT 40super hydraulic Woodmizer sawmill. Originally these had a, I don't know, I've always heard it called a caterpillar track. Plastic track that these wires ran in that folded up and unfolded every time the head moved down. And of course what happens to it, either lumber or logs fall off onto it and bust it. And it gets to where it don't work. And so he's having a lot of trouble with that. So we pulled those wires out of it and made them follow our sawdust tube, but we keep having problems, and he's pulled them in two numerous times. It'll come loose and get in that tire. So I looked at Cook sawmills, and they have a different setup, and that wire, we figured out we may not even have to take it in apart unless it runs under something there, and even then we may not take it apart. But we're going to take that wire. It runs in this deal here and then runs behind this track, all kind of encased. And we're going to take it apart. We're going to run us a cable from that truss back there to that truss way down there and hang our wire on some rollers, pulleys that will keep it up in the air and out of our way. We've always had to deal with the big wire that runs the motor hanging on this cable over here, and we can get by all right on it, but those other wires are not nearly as sturdy. Plus we got the live wire that runs our hydraulics live all the time. So we're going to work on getting that done today. You say, well, Paul, what's the reasoning behind this? Well, here's the reasoning. The caterpillar track, to replace it, to buy all new plastic parts for it, you can't buy the track made in one piece from Woodmizer. And they wanted, the parts was going to be around between $2,000 and $3,000 to replace that plastic track, and we had a lot of trouble with it. And if we get this thing up in the air, it'll be out of the way to where we'll quit having trouble with it. I hope. That's the hope. So we'll see how this goes, and I'll shoot us a piece of video at the end of it. And the parts, I realize if you was out in the open would be totally different, but the parts to change this is going to cost less than $100 for the cable and all the parts we got to have for that. So I'll bring you back out here in a minute. So we got her fixed up and he's sawing with it now. One of the reasons we've had some trouble with this is because we ran a really heavy lead, the size of welder lead cable, in that pack of wires, and it was always giving us trouble. And we did that because on these, the head has to be back all the way here to get onto a contact strip to run the hydraulics. The hydraulics is all 12 volt. The only thing that's really powered by electric off from our electric pole here is the drive motor. And all the rest of the functions on this mill are 12 volt. And so it had a 12 volt wire running to a deal that got on a contact strip when it come all the way back here to the end so it could run the hydraulics within this box. And we ran a lead in that cat track, and we was having some issues with that before it would break, and he had pieces of wood screwed together in it and all. And maybe there's a different supplier that can supply parts for that cat track, but we run ours over here. And I know some guys guy over here in mid-Missouri that he has run one of these, got 10,000 hours on it, and I've never seen him work on his cap track on video anyway. And but here we are. We got, how many hours on it, Scott? 5,000? 5,000 hours on the mill, and so we pretty well annihilated the cap track. And it was just a plastic deal that was made to run those wires in and folded up. And so here we've been about 2 hours getting this thing to where it'll work. And then we had to do some work in our electrical box. But I'm out here past the end of the world where there's no electrical code and no person's gonna come by and tell me I have to get things up to code. I'm outside of the city limits, and I'm way out in the county. And as far as I know, our county don't have any building codes except you have to be up to snuff on a septic system, and I'm just bleed ignorant on that. So, but that's how it looks. We'll see if I can get him to fold it all the way back when you come back. We've always had stuff that run on a cable over there, but it's that heavy lead for the drive motor, and you can see it still coiled up over there coming out as he goes forward. I think it's gonna work. Yeah, for anybody interested in the cutting, he's cutting pallet deck boarding. We have a standing order with a local company that makes their own pallets, and so we cut a lot of this 5/8 by 3.5 by 8 foot and 10 foot for them. And we cut everything oak. Nothing there that's black on the ends of hackberry. 2 hackberries. Elm. Whatever we get, we cut it into that stuff. And they don't seem to care. They just need the wood. That's what it looks like. We put a turnbuckle down here at the end so we could tighten it up. The only thing that's leaving on the floor is that suction hose for our vacuum. We may have to do some rolling around on that and twisting to get it where it straightens out. If you want it curved like that, it rolls around the tire better probably when it's curved. What's that say on your shirt again? Doesn't really matter what the question is, does it? Enough for now. Thanks for watching.